Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Eric Bieniemy, did he send a message to DeAndre Swift? We're going to dive into that. Plus, are the Bears eyeing a Cullen draft crush in the NFL draft? We'll get to that as well. We'll bring Cullen on the show for a little breakdown of that player. But first, let's talk a little EB. Eric Bieniemy, the Bears' new running backs coach, he hopped on the Bears Etc. podcast, which is through the Bears team website with Jeff Joniak, and said some interesting things when it comes to the Bears running back room, specifically DeAndre Swift. Here's what he had to say, quote, "I've had an opportunity to watch DeAndre. I spent some time with DeAndre when he came out of Georgia. I know all about him. He's a very hardworking kid who doesn't take anything for granted. He loves to work. Now more than anything, we just have to make sure that he understands he can find 4.5 yards in between the tackles, but also hit the home run when he needs to," which I think is the key in that sentence. But he's a great young man that works his tail off. I don't think that's a jab from Bieniemy, but I think it's kind of, saying the quiet part out loud a little bit. And he already said they've talked. So I think he's saying kind of what we said throughout the season, right? DeAndre Swift is he's an exciting player, but he could also be a frustrating player. He looks to bounce it too much. He looks to hit that home run ball more often than not, which he certainly can do. He had multiple of them this past season, but sometimes you just got to follow your blocks and let blocks develop and say, hey, instead of potentially losing a yard here, let me just take 3 by going inside, because not every play is going to be an opportunity to go break a 20-plus yard run. I still really like DeAndre Swift. I still think he can be an explosive player, and I think he actually can have a bigger impact with another back on this roster in a little bit of a lesser role. I fully expect the Chicago Bears to draft a running back. We've talked about that quite a bit because, I just don't think Swift is an every down, 3-down back. And that's okay. He doesn't need to be. He could be a part of a true 1-2 punch and still get a lot of touches, but not be heavily relied upon, right? Like whether you draft Ashton Genty or maybe they end up trading down and getting a Marion Hampton, or if it's Quinshon Judkins or Caleb Johnson. These are 4 guys I really would like to pair with Swift because I think that becomes a dynamic 1-2 punch. Obviously, there's other backs in this draft, Bashal Tootin. You've got Travion Henderson, who I don't love the fit with Swift, but he's a good player. You've got Devin Neal, Cam Scattaboo. There's other guys, but ideally to me, you would get one of these 4 players to pair with DeAndre Swift, which I would really, really like because I like the pairing of the skill set. Swift being that kind of, I don't want to call him a finesse player, but he kind of is a guy who's looking to break the home run. Obviously, hopefully he gets a little more disciplined in terms of just taking what the defense is getting him. And look, I think you're getting a little bit of an insight of Eric Bieniemy's coaching, right? Like he's not a bullshitter. Like he is going to come in and set a high standard. And he's going to challenge his running back room. He's going to challenge this offense to reach higher than they have in the past, which is, quite frankly, like what I want. I don't want coaches to come in here and just pat these guys on the ass. We'll get them on the next rep. That was a bad rep, man. We need to do that again and correct it. We need more of that type of coaching here. And we all saw the clip, and if you haven't, go search it on Twitter, on YouTube, whatever, of Eric Bieniemy coaching up the freaking Adrian Peterson. You ever heard of him? Pretty hard. That's the type of coaching you're going to get out of him, and might rub some people the wrong way. So it's put up or shut up time if you're DeAndre Swift and the other players in this backfield, because Bieniemy is a no-nonsense type of coach. Pick a running back. Who would you rather have? And you could factor in where they're expected to get drafted. Obviously, Ashton Genty, that would be if you took him at number 10. Maybe a Marion Hampton is at 10 or in a trade down in the first round. Quinshon Judkins, Caleb Johnson, those would be, ideal second-round type of guys. So AJ for Ashton Genty, OH for Marion Hampton, QJ for Quinshon Judkins, or KJ for Caleb Johnson. Give your take down in the comments section below. All right, coming up, we'll stick with the NFL draft. Are the Bears targeting a Cullen draft crush? If you're unaware, every live show, producer Cullen brings a Cullen draft crush to the table, and there's some recent reporting that one of the players he's talked about on this show is someone the Bears could be eyeing. So we'll talk about that player coming up after a word from our sponsor, which is Rocket money. Are you looking to build your savings? Do you need to save up some money? There's no better app to help you do that than Rocket Money. It's a personal finance app that can help you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and help lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. How closely do you track your bank statements and credit card history? Are you combing through every single charge on a regular basis? Or do you just kind of assume, you're good, which is the easy thing to do, until you notice something weird? Honestly, I don't have time to check my accounts on a daily basis. I have a 2-year-old running around. I put in long hours at work. I'm married. A lot of my time is consumed, but now that I'm with Rocket Money, it does all that for me. It'll send me alerts if anything pops up. Don't have to worry about those things. I can cancel subscriptions if in a timely manner if I don't want to pay for them anymore, because when I first got going with Rocket Money, I noticed, oh, wait, I have this golf streaming service that I never use. I have multiple accounts of this same service. That's a waste of money. A couple taps later, those are canceled for me. A lot of benefits to Rocket Money, a lot of ways you can save money, as they have saved their customers $500 million in canceled subscriptions alone, which is 5 million customers, by the way, including their members up to $740 per year in savings if you use all of the app's features. Think what you could do with an extra $700. So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/bearsnow. That is rocketmoney.com/bearsnow. Link is in the comments and in the description. Support our sponsors. It supports us. Okay. Are the Bears eyeing Texas defensive back Andrew Mukuba? Report coming out that the Bears met with him earlier this week. Texas had their pro day Monday or Tuesday. I think the report of the meeting took place on Monday night, the actual meeting. So that is certainly noteworthy. Not a top 30. I assume this took place in Austin because it was right around the pro day, so maybe they took him out to dinner or whatever the case may be. Tony Pauline of Sportskeeda said, had this report, and he said, keep an eye on the Bears in round 3 for Mukuba, a player who Cullen Brown, our producer, has talked quite a bit about. We'll bring him on in a second, but kind of broke out this year after being kind of a backup, a rotation guy. 5 picks, 7 breakups, 4 tackles for loss. He's a willing tackler despite being, a little wiry in terms of the frame, about 180, 185 pounds. You still see the 69 tackles there. He's got versatility, Cullen, with the ability to play a little nickel, play some free safety. You can bring him up in the box some. You see the PFF grades. I know you're pretty high on this kid.
Yeah, I think he's a really interesting player. I mean, we've talked about it kind of throughout the offseason, which, by the way, if you're here live on Chicago Bears Now, make sure you tune in. Make sure you have your notifications turned on. But Dennis Allen, he loves to have versatility in his secondary. And I don't think there's anybody in this draft class that exudes that more than Andrew Mukuba. Obviously, you see the PFF stats on screen. He can play a lot of different positions for you. And with the uncertainty, with Kevin Byard's age and then Jaquan Brisker's injury history, I think Andrew Mukuba makes too much sense at, if they do keep number 72 overall, for him to be a Chicago Bear. So I think it's a natural fit. I really do, for Chicago.
Yeah, we've talked about this. Dennis Allen likes safeties who can play both spots. I think Mukuba can do that. He's probably more of a natural free guy, but if you need him to play in the box some, he can do that. If Kyler Gordon were to get banged up, he could give you some snaps at nickel as well. So I'm intrigued by him. I thought he ran better than expected as well. Wasn't he 4.46, mid 4.4s? So that was a good time for him. So he's a pretty interesting player. And again, to Cullen's point here, look, if all goes well, Byard and Brisker play all 17 games and are your 2 starters this year. And look, Byard historically has been very healthy in his career. It's why I loved the signing at the time, because they brought him in to replace Eddie Jackson, a guy whose injuries had piled up. And Byard did play, I think, every game last year. So I don't expect him to miss time this year. I just don't know if he's here beyond this year. So safety is a bigger need than expected, even more so because, look, I love Jaquan Brisker. He's a tone setter, but it kind of feels like he's one concussion away from his career really being in jeopardy. So I like the 3rd round as a sweet spot for a safety. I think that's the sweet spot for Mukuba's draft range as well. If you've plugged some other holes in the earlier picks and he's sitting there at 72, I got no problem with that whatsoever. I think 39 or 41 is probably a little rich. I think that's more of like a Xavier Watts type of range in this NFL draft. But if Mukuba's in there when you're picking in the 3rd round, I certainly would not be opposed to pulling the trigger at that spot. Do you want the Bears to draft a safety? Type Y for yes or type in for no. I think they need to. I think they're going to. And Andrew Mukuba is a name that you should keep an eye on. Okay, some free agency news. Matt Pryor has landed in Philadelphia, signing a one-year deal with the Eagles. Not sure what the contract details are. Can't imagine it's a ton of money, especially since, he's not a clear-cut starter for them, especially 3 weeks into free agency. I'm not surprised or devastated, but it's a little like, man, I would have liked to bring him back. I think part of this is playing the free agency comp pick formula game. As of now, they're slightly in the positive in terms of being able to get a pick next year, whether that's a 6th or 7th round pick at this time. We'll have to wait and see how that ends up playing out in the Bears' favor or not. I would have liked him back, though, because I love his versatility. He proved last year he can be a serviceable starter if you need him to be. Ideally, he's, like your 6th offensive lineman, right? Like a really good backup who could play both guard spots, both tackle spots. So, we'll see. Does that mean they're going to roll with Ryan Bates this year? Are they going to keep him on the roster? Are they going to draft somebody? Bill Murray, is he someone they're still high on? Obviously, last year he surprised, made the team, played well in limited snaps before he suffered an injury. But wish him well in Philly. I thought he played admirably after the Nate Davis debacle. So got nothing but praise for Matt Pryor. And he's got a chance to start there, maybe. I mean, that right guard spot with Mekhi Becton leaving is kind of up for grabs in Philadelphia, so I'll be watching that from afar. But best of luck to him as he moves on. Okay, that's going to do it for this edition of Chicago Bears Now. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button for more coverage, and we'll see you soon.